Welcome, folks. I will try to cover up a very huge product today that help us build and literally deploy a production application in 30 minutes. But first, let's start talking about who I am, right? Briefly, I have 20 years working in IT market. I'm a consultant, cloud solutions architect. I am a former Microsoft student partner and a speaker. I love kart racing. I built my own RV, as you can see here, and you will be able to keep in touch with me in LinkedIn and Instagram, right? Um, well, this is a very quick overview about myself. Let's go to the right thing, right? So, Devprime has a mission, right, to empower the developers and accelerate the productivity. The main objective of this framework, this tool, is to give the developer and the business control of the domain and accelerate how we build up software, microservices, event-driven applications. So let's start talking about the challenge that we have in software development, right? So everybody knows it's very hard to hire new people, to attract talent, and even worse, to retain these people inside your company. We have a high cost, right? Growing application is very complex, and we deal with technical debt all the time. Everybody deal with failures, applications that don't have reuse, and high coupling, and frequently we need to rework in tools and the business many times. I know that people is dealing with difficulty to scale applications, and that also brings to the table the high cost of this operation because you will have much more cost deploying your applications and scale and etc. So as the CEO of Devprime says, delay on innovation is a debt, is a digital debit. So if you take so long to innovate, man, you're losing money on the table, right? So Devprime brings to us a high quality software for backend, for event-driven APIs and microservices. We want to boost the developer productivity. I want to enable faster building of cloud native solutions. And I will show you in a live session called how we do this in 30 minutes, right? But where DevPrime fits? What is DevPrime? When we look to the stack of a development, we have front end, we have APIs, mediation layer, gateway layer, but we have backend. And in most cases, backend is where our problems scales. Is where we deal with most of our problems. And here is where the DevPrime fits, right? We're talking about a platform, right? Uh, DevPrime is a platform that brings inside a lot of features that you don't need to do anymore. So every day, people need to create a new API. They need to create logs, metrics. They need to create uh, reusability. They need to create a resilience strategy. So you need to recreate the same thing all the time. And that comes ready inside the DevPrime platform. DevPrime supports HTTP, gRPC, GraphQL, logs, tracing metrics. All the observability stack is resolved inside that platform. And you will have access to the code and control whatever you're doing because our main objective is um, to apply the design patterns and best practices faster. So we bring to the table, ready to be used, an event-driven architecture with non-blocking APIs. Hexagonal architecture, I will show you. The domain-driven design is applied the right way. Uh, in the previous presentation, I heard many times domain first. Devprime is a domain first tool. You need to think on your domain and you will be focused on the domain. You don't need to take care anymore about resilience. You don't need to take care more about logging. This is solved by the platform, right? Other things that people need to deal when we're talking about microservices. You need to consider the retry policies. What should I do when I try to call an API and for some reason the API is offline? Or what should I do when I try to call, for example, the RabbitMQ and RabbitMQ is not working? What is the resilience policy? These things needs to be considered when we're talking about microservices, when we're talking about event-driven applications, event-driven architecture. And this is already solved by the Devprime platform. Um, and, and also, the Devprime platform is ready to run on container. So you will deploy this application in any cloud provider, in any server. Is your choice, right? We're not attached to any platform. In fact, we're not attached to any cloud provider. There's a way, a seamlessly way to integrate services and applications. So also the Devprime platform resolves a lot of protocols to us and bring this ready to be used by the domain. We also can stream data to Kafka, RabbitMQ, Service Bus, and many others. Devprime platform connects with Mongo, SQL, and other databases. And as I said, we are a cloud native solution. So you will be able to deploy any application to Kubernetes, Azure, AWS, GCP, and any other. And of course, we have all the security layers with Auth0, Auth2, OpenID, and many other protocols so you can use to secure your applications, right? And Devprime has born exactly from the pain of scalability. How do you scale? How do you handle thousands of requests per second? How do you monitor multiple microservices? How do you track the failure among thousands of microservices, right? So we design this platform for scalability. But let's stop talking. I think we should see these things working, right? So to start, anyone can go to your browser and open devprime.io, and you will be able to see our website there and how this tool works, and download it for free and try it for free. But let's start. I already have here the CLI installed in my machine, right? So I can simply start creating here a new solution. Let's start Devprime. I will create a new solution. I will call Software Architecture Live. I want to stream data to RabbitMQ, and I want to state to MongoDB. All right. Now I have one empty solution created by Devprime on my machine. This is a traditional hexagonal architecture. Unfortunately, I don't have time to explore everything that we have around here. We have Docker files, we have scripts, pipelines, and etc. out of the box. But we have a structure to create a new application. And I will start showing something that is fun. So for example, I want to add an aggregate. I will call customer. So now I have one domain, aggregates, and this is called customer. So what our customer have? Name, customer have email, phone maybe, right? This is our customer. See, I will reinforce the statement, domain first. I am caring about only, I am only caring about the domain, right? Anything else I want to see for now, just the domain. So after creating the domain, I will run a new command here. Hey, Devprime, start my application, init my application. So the Devprime engine is testing, compiling, and building my project. And the tool will give to us an output, say, okay, I want to create files. Observe, the accelerator, the Devprime accelerator, created 42 files and modified 10 files to us. What I have now, let's take a look. Our customer now have a new constructor, an empty constructor, one add method, one update method, delete method. So the Devprime engine created for us all the business logic inside the domain. The domain is the piece responsible for connecting all the other layers of the application. I have events here. So create customer, customer created. I have the application. Now I have an application with an event handler here. I have a get by ID event handler because eventually I need to handle something like that, right? And what happens if I simply click run here? Again, the Devprime engine is calculating everything, compiling the code, and in some few seconds, I will have an application running. All right. See, I have logs, structured logs here, right? The application started, read the configuration from this file. I don't have idempotency for now. I'm connected to MongoDB, right? Observability, security, etc., etc. If I click here, I can see my microservice running. Let's show you something. This is my MongoDB, right? This is my application. I don't have any database here, but I want to create a new customer. Let's try out. I will create here, Lucas. Uh, Lucas at messina.com.br, and my phone number is here, right? Let's execute. Whoa, it has been accepted. Devprime created the database for me. And now I have the object there. And I don't type anything. I don't care about the database. I don't care about anything else. Let's go back to our logs. Let's take a look in the logs. So the application started, right? And here I have received a new post on this endpoint. Then it's triggered my service that triggered my domain, and domain said, hey, process the event create customer. This has been handled by an event handler that goes to the database, creates the database, and then triggers something out, sends the event out on my RabbitMQ, right? So here we have a complete microservices running in 5 minutes. Of course, we have to customize things. We can customize things. I can go into the code and change whatever is needed because the code is here. I can do whatever is needed to put my business rules inside my domain, right? That's the main objective of the solution. But let's take a look at something that is interesting, right? So my microservice is running here, and I have many containers. So let's imagine that my RabbitMQ is out of service for any reason. Whoa, my microservice detected that the RabbitMQ is out and is trying to reconnect. If I go to my API and I try to retrieve something, it's still working because the database is still there. Only the streaming adapter is not working, as you can see here. The system is trying to recover from a failure, right? Oh, it's not possible. So open a circuit breaker. Now we have a circuit breaker on the streaming adapter, right? So the application is not trying, but everything else is running. I can query the data. I can eventually create a new person. Let's try to create Simon here, right? Simon, you just received a new email, right? Um, all right, let's try to create a new registry here. Simon, what's happening? Let's analyze the logs again. So again, we have a post, right? The application is running. The domain said, okay, process the create customer. It has been handled. Then go to the MongoDB, write, process the event customer created. And here is the trick. Hey, I was trying to send out an event to customer created, but it has not been delivered because we have the circuit breaker. RabbitMQ is not operational, it's offline. So Devprime handled that message in the resilience level. And if we go into our database, now we have a Devprime string level here. That is the resilience. Let's check what will happen if I turn on my RabbitMQ back again, right? RabbitMQ is back again, is going on. So after some few seconds, the application is trying to recover itself, and voila. After retrying, now the RabbitMQ is back online, and now we have out event delivered. Now the message that has been saved on the resilience level has been sent to the RabbitMQ topic. And I haven't created nothing. I just need to take care about my domain. The central part of Devprime is the domain, right? We are a domain first, domain centric, domain driven design. But well, I showed you the power of the Devprime platform, how it works, and how we can create code, manage our application, and etc. It's a very quick and high level, how can I say, example, right? But let's take a look how it works when we're talking about uh, the Copilot, right? So I have here a, a tool, right? It's still beta. We're still developing this, and I will create a new project, right? Uh, I will call this Software Architecture Live. So I will create a new project here, and I will give instructions. So behind the scenes, the Devprime, the DPX, is using Copilot. So uh, I am building a CRM tool, and I want to track the customer interaction interactions. Customer have name, mail, phone, address. Please respond in English. See, the DPX can also give you your domain in your native language. I don't know if you want to receive your domain in Portuguese or Hindi or I don't know, Spanish, right? You can ask to respond in a different language. All right. Now the DPX is running behind the scenes, calculating whatever is needed, and interacting with the Copilot to generate some classes. So now we have customer, interaction, address, and etc. Right? I will say, okay, generate the code for me. Okay. Um, let's go back to our CLI. I will create a new, and I will try now. It's empty, right? All right, dpx list. Now I have the list of all my applications here, and I will start. I want to use the streaming wrapped MQ, and the state will be MongoDB, right? What's happening? The Devprime accelerator is using the code generated by the artificial intelligence for us and creating the project from scratch and giving us everything ready to run. Also, the tests. So let's take a look into this new code. Here we have the adapters, the application, we have the core, the domain, everything else. But now we have the aggregates here. The address is here. The customer is here, already calculated with all the validations, with all the tasks. We have the iteration. Everything is here, and I just interact with the artificial intelligence to build up for us. Uh, let's run this application just to see what's happening behind the scene and the difference between the previous one to this next one. All right, let me refresh my screen. All right, now we have customer here. If we take a look on customer, we have other data here. Oh, sorry, I need to clean up my database because it's the same name. Just a second. If you look to customer, now the customer have much more information. I can create a new customer here again. I can use names and etc. 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 Of course, I'm going super fast here because we don't have time, but we can generate more classes, more validations, and etc. here, right? So let's try to execute this one. Let's go back to my MongoDB. All right, now I have my customer here. Now the customer has interactions, address, and etc. Right? And again, I don't type it anything. I don't use any tool to build up that application, just the accelerator of the Devprime and the Copilot behind the scenes, right? So this tool brings to us a very huge application that publishes and receive events from queues, for example, right? So I'm publishing here an out event that has been delivered on RabbitMQ. I can also write applications to receive those events, right? Let me show you something. I will open here because unfortunately we don't have time to go deeper on this. I will open here two applications. Okay, I will open an order service, and I will open here a payment service. Let me call here run. Both applications are being compiled right now, and they are connected to each other over the RabbitMQ, right? Let me refresh my API. Now I'm talking about an order API, okay? So let's put an order here. I will try to create a new order here for Lucas with some customer. I will buy, I don't know, a shirt, one, price 10, I don't know, 10. All right, let's create. Observe here in the background, the order server will receive the intent of generation an order, creating an order. While here in the other side, we have the payment that will be responsible for receiving the order and processing it, right? All right, two microservices connected. In one hand, I have the order created and delivered. And in the other hand, I have one payment created. So here, we received, let's open here, the streaming, see payment, streaming, subscribe to order. And now we have an inbound, an in event order created that has been processed by the platform. And both codes are similar because they have the same structure. They have the same pattern and following the same hexagonal architecture. And even better, if we go uh, to our, let me open my other screen, sorry. Oh, here is, to the Zipkin, for example. If we open Zipkin, I can see all the interactions from all the services in one place. I can see how they interacted with each other. So for example, let's take a look on this. I have posted an order into the order microservice that went to the web layer, order service, domain, handler, etc., etc. Then I have started processing the same order in a in a different microservice. So we have tracking of each step of that specific request into multiple microservices. If we look here on SEC, the same thing. We can see every step that has been executed in the application. And in many applications, payment, we can see what happened into the order layer. We can see everything. So we have a complete observability solution with Devprime platform. And this is out of the box. And again, let's stop RabbitMQ for a second, just to see what will happen here in our observability logs, right? If we start again, and I'm creating my tail here, now I have an error that is pointed by the tracking system, the observability layer. And I can see exactly what happened in our application because we have a huge observability tool behind the scenes. And we can see exactly the line that the problem has started. We can see everything. And best, we can track every failure using the same ID, right? So if we look here, if we try to search something with the ID, I can see every single step about that specific object or request or intent, right? So unfortunately, we don't have much time to go deeper inside each and every details of the Devprime because Devprime is a very huge stack. It's a very huge foundation. we have multiple layers. We have business-centered development that needs to be explained in a specific session. Devprime is a domain-driven design solution, in the minimal sense, right? Because everything that we care is about the business. We want to give to empower the developer in a way that he can focus his effort in the domain-driven design and not taking care about technical stuff and doing retry policies and etc. Right? That is already solved by the platform.